Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the strategic implications of the Horn of Africa, and we're fortunate to have with us to talk about the strategic implications of the Horn of Africa, Dr. LMadu1. Dr. LMadu1 is the editor of the Pan-African Journal and also the president of the Pan-African Conference. And of course, Dr. LMadu1, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
And to tell you, Dr. LMadu1, how delighted we are to have you, because we've had you on a number of occasions, and every time we have you, you bring us such excellent information, and especially about the continent of Africa. I think we've talked about West Africa, Lagos, we've talked about Somalia and Haiti, and you've done the whole African thing with us. And of course, I would imagine that what you're going to tell us today about the Horn of Africa. Let's start off by talking about the Horn of Africa. What do we mean, Dr. LMadu1, when we talk about the Horn of Africa?
Well, when we talk about the Horn of Africa, we talk about northeastern Africa. Core 4 countries, make up the Horn of Africa, which is Ethiopia, Djibouti, Eritrea, and Somalia. And for geopolitical reasons, we also add Kenya and the Sudan, as part of the Horn of Africa. This is an area that is one of the poorest places in the world, poorest places in Africa, actually. Pre-colonial times and post-colonial times, that part of the world has seen, violent civil wars, insurrections, irredentist.
Just the name of some of the countries you mentioned.
Movements, droughts, famine, etc., etc. And as a result of this continued, instability, the profound economic impact of that to that place has, cannot be overemphasized. In 1964, there was a war between Ethiopia and Somalia, over the Ogaden Desert. The continuing Eritrean, separatist movement, which started in the 60s after Haile Selassie annexed Eritrea as part of Ethiopia, continued till the overthrow of Mengistu in 1991. In 1977, Somalia invaded Ethiopia, trying to wrest the Ogaden Desert from Ethiopia, which actually was repelled with the aid of the Cuban forces. Again, you had the 1991 overthrow of President Siad Barre of Somalia. Somalia has never had any functioning government, up till now, even though you have a transitional government. In 1998, you had that bloody war, 88, 98, 99 between Eritrea and Ethiopia, which virtually bankrupted, both governments, particularly the Eritreans. So you see an area that is important, but at the same time, has been very unstable. And as you know, instability scares away investors. And to begin with, the area doesn't have much economic, attraction to the West anyway. Its importance lies in its geographic location. For example, in 1953, then Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia signed an agreement with the United States government to build a communication stations in Asmara, then part of Ethiopia, capital of Eritrea, to monitor the sea lanes, and keep an eye on Soviet actions in that part of the world.
This is all part of the Cold War, is that?
Exactly. That's as part of the Cold War. The Russians were busy building up the Somalian army, and also stationing its naval base in the port of Barbara, which the United States countered, by supporting Emperor Haile Selassie in Ethiopia. But following the revolution in '73, that toppled Emperor Haile Selassie and established a socialist government headed by Mengistu. The Soviet Union shifted to a larger customer, Ethiopia, abandoning the Somali government, and the United States came in to, fill in the vacuum. So ever since, it's been the same, problems, economic and political problems that has beset that part of the world. But most importantly, really, the key geopolitical the importance of that area is the Straits of Bab el-Mandeb. In Arabic, that means, you know, a gate of tears. The Straits of Bab el-Mandeb actually links the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean through the Suez Canal, and over 3.5 million to 4 million barrels of oil a day pass through there.
And very good. And of course, Dr. LeMadu, let us take this first commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll allow you to pick up at that point, talking about the economic implications in a real sense of this. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. This is Dr. LeMadu.